For news on the hour.
Good evening and thanks for staying with us on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Here's the news at 6. I'm Raya Motosho. Africa Development Bank assures Tinubu of support in Nigeria's agri and power sectors. JAMB sets 140 as cut-off mark for varsity admission. Sierra Leone votes in national elections amid economic crisis. CONCACAF suspends 4 players after a US-Mexico brawl. And now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has departed France for London on a short private visit. On Tuesday, Tinubu traveled to France for the Global Financial Pact Summit. The president was scheduled to be back in the country today and Saturday. However, in a statement issued this afternoon, Dele Alake, the president's special advisor on communications and strategy, said the president will be back in the country in time for the Eid al-Kabir festival. Alake said the president had an outstanding participation in the summit. The African Development Bank, AFDB, has assured President Bola Tinubu that the bank will support his efforts and vision in improving the agriculture and power sectors in Nigeria. President of the AFDB, Akinwumi Adesina, disclosed this after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu on the sidelines of the new Global Financing Pact Summit hosted by the French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris, France. Adesina said it was a great opportunity for him to see Tinubu personally commend him for the thoughts and ideas he's brought to the summit in Paris and also discuss so many things. The FDB boss also commended President Tinubu for his boldness, vision, and determination with regards to the macroeconomic stability and fiscal stability for Nigeria. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has adopted 140 as the minimum cutoff point for admission into Nigerian universities and 100 for polytechnics and colleges of education for the 2023/2024 academic session. Permanent Secretary for the Federal Ministry of Education, Andrew David Adejo, while announcing the minimum cutoff mark into higher institutions at the 2023 admissions policy meeting in Abuja, urged all tertiary institutions in the country to abide by the rules.
We are talking about minimum that nobody will be allowed to go. Yes, we see
My name is S. Abbas. I support the motion that the minimum for universities should be 140.
140.
Yes. But the one more student.
These 2 layers. What? Oh, sorry. This is the business. Sorry. You can raise your hands down. Thank you very much. As long as I am, I've seen that we've accepted from the 2023 policy meeting that the minimum admissible score to 2020 Nigerian University is 140. Please, for the 15 private universities that chose between 120 and 130, the 140 is sacrosanct to the extent that we bring any candidates that JAMB system will not recognize 139.5. It's an automatic, but the system will not take it. So I thank you very much for that. We concluded this matter this morning.
JAMB Registrar Professor Ishak Oloide emphasized the need for every tertiary institution in its own minimum standard to ensure, especially as it relates to institutional screening and grading in the Senior Secondary Certificate Examination (SSCE). He reiterated that 140 is sacrosanct and must not be violated, revealing that the system put in place will not recognize any score below the minimum requirement.
I, Dr. Rossi Olabatoni, the Provost College of Agriculture, GSC Kaba, supports the motion that 100 points should be the minimum for admission into college.
the same thing. That's what they want to say, yes.
Chairman, I think best schools records.
Yes.
A college of agriculture is not a college of education. So the another second sheet. I observe all protocol. I am Dr. Christiana Sulu.
Please, please attention. Yes.
Progress the machine and second the motion in 100 months minimum.
Thank you very much. Any opposition, a woman is, Madam is raising her hand.
Allow us. No problem. No
Correction. Then Lagos, before we give response.
No, we did.
You see, madam, this is don't speak quiet. You have to speak your voice. And the voice we show, your best to do that is
No.
Oh, you are bring their voice.
We don't know the police of those that did not
Madam.
Oloide further advised institutions not to collect more than 2,000 naira as screening fees from the candidates. The Kano Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it arrested 1,064 suspects and seized 7.5 tons of illicit drugs between June 2022 and June 2023 in Kano. This is contained in a statement issued by the NDLEA Acting Public Relations Officer, Sadiq Maigatari, to mark the United Nations International Day against drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking in Kano on Saturday. The theme for the year is People First, Stop Stigma and Discrimination, Strengthen Prevention. According to him, the command adoption of the War Against Drug Abuse campaign program as a prevention approach proved to be highly effective. He said the suspects arrested comprised 1,001 males and 63 females. And on the foreign scene, Sierra Leoneans began voting Saturday in fiercely contested presidential and parliamentary elections amid the cost of living crisis that helped spark deadly riots last year. Voting expected to end at 5 p.m. today got off to a late start at Wilberforce Barracks, a voting center in the capital, Freetown. 12 men and 1 woman are vying for the top job, and incumbent President Julius Bio of the Sierra Leone People's Party, SLPP, is seeking a second and final term in what promises to be a straight contest between him and 72-year-old Samura Kamara, the flag bearer of the All People's Congress, APC. Some 3.4 million people are registered to vote, 52.4% of whom are under the age of 35, according to an Electoral Commission spokesman. Presidential candidates must secure 55% of valid votes for a first-round win. President Vladimir Putin vowed Saturday he will not allow Russia to slip into civil war after the leader of the Wagner mercenary force seized a key military headquarters overseeing the offensive in Ukraine. The rapid-moving events mark the most serious challenge yet to the Kremlin chief's long rule and Russia's most serious security crisis since he came to power in late 1999. Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin says his troops have taken control of the military command center and an airbase in the southern city of Rostov-on-Don and vowed to topple Moscow's top military leaders. And now in sports, the Confederation of North Central America and the Caribbean Association of Football, CONCACAF, meted out suspensions to Weston McKennie and Sergino Dest of the United States and Mexico's Cesar Montes, as well as Gerardo Ortega on Friday, in the wake of the stormy Champions League clash between the two nations. The United States triumphed 3-0 in the semi-final match that saw both sides finish with 9 men. Montes was shown a red card for an ugly wild kick at Folarin Balogun, and McKennie was dismissed for his role in the fracas which followed. CONCACAF said Friday that McKinney and Montez have been suspended a further 3 matches in addition to their automatic 1-match bans. Dest and Arteaga were suspended an additional 2 games. Still in sports, Lobby Stars of Makurdi and Remo Stars FC of Ikene are the first clubs to qualify for the finals of Nigeria Super 8 competition, scheduled to be held at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos from July 7th to 16th. Lobby Stars picked the ticket to represent the North Central Zone by defeating City FC of Abuja 4-3 on penalties after a thrilling match. The Nigeria Professional Football League side and the Nigeria National League played in an opening fixture of the tournament playoffs at the Eket Township Stadium on Friday. With a victory, Remo Stars maintained their unbeaten run against the Ibadan Biz side. And that's it on the news at 6. But before we go, here are the highlights of today's stories as brought to you. AFDB assures Tinubu of support in Nigeria's agric and power sectors. JAMB sets 140 as cutoff mark for varsity admission. Sierra Leone votes in national elections amid economic crisis. CONCACAF suspends 4 players after US-Mexico brawl. That's the Citizen FM News at 6, as compiled and edited by Rayo Motosho. Thanks for listening.